Overlord Season 4 Episode 8, and yeah, I am 3 weeks late making these episode reviews, but I still wanted to make them because, like I said in my other anime reviews, I still wanted to make them because maybe there are some people that still want to watch them, even though for this episode in specific, episode 8, it is, 3 weeks old, so yeah. But yeah, maybe some people still want to watch them. Maybe in the future I will want to watch, well, my own reviews. So yeah, I still wanted to make them and hopefully you can all enjoy it. So yeah, episode 8, and I guess the general feeling of this episode of episode 8 is one of being a more chill episode because there isn't any action per se that happens in this episode. It's basically all dialogue or advancement of the plot, which I always say this, but that is not necessarily a bad thing. That is actually sometimes a good thing, and I actually think that this episode, well, in general, is not bad. It's not the best episode either, but it's not bad either. So yeah, that is my say of the episode as a whole. Not bad, not the best either. Simply a good episode in the sense that it advanced the plot. So yeah, a lot of dialogue in the episode. We of course get new information throughout the whole episode, sprinkled here and there. But the episode starts with an interaction between Prince Sanak and Princess Renner, talking about the Sorcerer Kingdom. And interestingly enough, I don't know if this is something that was rushed or if there is some thing that was skipped in the anime, because it almost feels like this part of the anime, this conversation that they both had, I don't know if it's because there wasn't sufficient information between them two with what they talked about, or if it's because maybe I'm misunderstanding something, or maybe I didn't grasp the full extent of their talk. But yeah, I feel like there is something really weird that happened in this conversation, because I don't know if there was vital information left out. Maybe in the source material it is explained a little bit more with detail. Maybe this is something that people that have read the source material will not like, because again, I feel like this first part of the anime, specifically the talk between Princess Renner and Prince Sanak, felt a little bit weird, because yeah, I feel like it was rushed, it was missing information, or maybe like I said again, it is all in my head, and yeah, it is supposed to be like that. But yeah, they are basically talking about the Sorcerer Kingdom and how they are helping out the theocracy, because now the Sorcerer Kingdom is sending food supplies to the theocracy. And yeah, the kingdom doesn't like this. Prince Sanak doesn't like this, and he's a little bit scared of what they can do. He's scared that the Sorcerer Kingdom is slowly but surely getting more and more, well, city-states to be aligned with them. We have now the theocracy, we have the dwarves, we have of course the empire, we have so many city-states or nations, whatever you want to call them, that are now aligned with the Sorcerer Kingdom. So yeah, that is basically the whole talk that Renner and Sanak are having in their little brief talk at the start of the episode. And yeah, again, Princess Renner suggests that they should become a vassal state to the Sorcerer Kingdom, which of course Prince Sanak doesn't want to do that, but we all know that Princess Renner is not actually looking out for the best interests of the kingdom. We know that she's not really an ally of the kingdom. She's actually a traitor, although she hasn't really done anything as of right now that may be considered traitor worthy. She is planning behind everybody's back with Albedo, but she hasn't really, stabbed anybody on the back or done anything that outrageous. She is still, not looking at the best interests of the kingdom, and she will betray the kingdom eventually when the time comes. But yeah, besides that, the whole episode focuses on the Baron that we got introduced at the start of the season. I think it was in the second or third episode, Baron Philip, which was being used by Albedo to basically sort of have a mini, you can call it civil war. But we see in this episode that failed, because the Baron was too fool, to be honest, to even do that. He went against everything that Albedo wanted and basically acted on his own and started to basically sabotage and trying to stop the carriages from getting to the Sorcerer Kingdom to the theocracy, the food, because the food that was being transported from the Sorcerer Kingdom to the theocracy was affecting his land and other lands of nobility, of royalty of the kingdom. So of course he didn't like that because the prices were going down. He was basically not gaining any money, and he thought of the brilliant idea of basically, like I said already, sabotaging the carriages, of stopping the fruit from getting to the theocracy. And of course Albedo found out about this, and she was not too happy with that, and she basically told Ainz that, well, the plan that she had of making use of that fool, as she likes to call Baron Philip, to basically instigate an internal civil war, an internal rift between the nobility, the royalty, had failed. That is what she tells Ainz. And to be honest, Ainz takes it really well. I think he took it really well, because many people might have thought that Ainz was going to, basically talk down on Albedo and talk down on Hilma, which was the sponsor technically of Baron Philip. But actually he didn't. He was actually pretty understanding of the situation, because he didn't blame anyone. To be honest, he even blamed himself, which speaks a lot about Ainz, because we see that, he still has some lingering human nature in him. He's not simply a blood cold killer that, many people think in this new world of Overlord think he is. He's actually pretty understanding of situations. Of course, sometimes he can be that. He can be very cold-blooded, and we see so many instances of that throughout the whole anime. But we have these instances where he's actually understanding, where he's actually pretty human. And this was the case too in this episode, where he was even blaming himself because he was not, properly subordinating his minions, if you can call it like that, Albedo, Hilma, and everyone else. So because of this, Hilma is very pleased with the Sorcerer King, with Ainz. She basically falls in love, if you can call it like that, with Ainz, because he shows compassion to her, which of course makes her even more subordinate to Ainz. And yeah, I don't think at this point she will betray Ainz, or maybe she will, but who knows. But yeah, that is basically the whole theme or topic of the episode, is that this fool Baron Philip is trying to basically take matters into his own hand, and he tries to basically stop the fruit, the supply from going from the Sorcerer Kingdom to the theocracy. And because of that, he causes a lot of problems. And we see that one of those problems is that, well, basically now the Sorcerer Kingdom, Ainz, has declared war on the kingdom. And of course this was coming. It wasn't necessarily Baron Philip that caused this. At the end of the day, sooner rather than later, the Sorcerer Kingdom was going to go to war with the kingdom. They were just looking for an excuse, to be honest, at this point, to go to war. And they found the perfect excuse with Baron Philip. And of course they go to the kingdom. They they send a letter to the kingdom, and they have a discussion, the king, the prince, the princess, of what they should do, how they should respond. And at the end of the episode, we get that now the king has probably a solution to stop the war. Let's see what that solution is, but that is how the episode ended, basically, with the king having found a solution to stop the impending war. Let's see if it actually does stop the war, or if it doesn't. I don't think it will stop the war, to be honest, because I think at this point Ainz and Albedo and the Murge all want to go to war. I don't think anything will stop them from going to war, no matter what plan the king, the prince has. They are going to go to war. So yeah, let's see if it actually does something to maybe slow down the impending war or something like that. But yeah, let's see what happens in the next episode. But yeah, it is basically that. It is basically using the kingdom and the empire as the carrot and the stick, as he was explaining in this episode, in an international level, because they are using the empire and the kingdom to show people and nations what happens when you go against. And when you are like with the Sorcerer Kingdom, as it is with the case with the Empire that is surviving at this point, and with the kingdom that is about to be probably destroyed by the Sorcerer Kingdom, which of course that wasn't actually Ainz' idea, but I mean, being Ainz the person that he is, that is why everybody else thinks he is thinking. So yeah, I mean, that is basically now the plan. But yeah, I mean, that is basically everything that happened in the episode. Let's see what the next episode brings us. A little bit more of a chill episode, like I said at the beginning. Not a bad episode, not the best one. A normal episode with a lot of information, with the task of advancing basically the plot, and that is what it did. So yeah, that will be everything for me, and I guess I'll see you all in the next episode review.